because these protesters are out of control. They're emboldened. Trump won the election. We have federal law enforcement. They're enforcing the damn laws. They're taking people that have no legal standing and they're removing them from the country. That's the law.
You record back of another video. I got some more Nick Fuentes clips for you guys today. The majority of them are going to be about ICE and how ICE is in Chicago right now as we speak. They're doing their roundabouts, trying to get illegal criminals out, doing their job like they're supposed to, and Nick's just going in about when is it going to be when they start shooting at ICE, like God willing they don't, but there's gonna be one idiot out there who's gonna bring a gun, and just start letting off on federal agents, which is not right. And Nick just goes in about it right here, and he talks about also if the ICE detention facilities get bombed too, which is a possibility, with Antifa here and all these criminal groups doing criminal activities, That's all I ask before we get into the clip. If you guys could like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts on the video, my goal is to bring you guys more Nick Fuentes clips, just always America first, just giving you guys the real side. So yeah, get into this video and enjoy some Nick Fuentes.
Because these protesters are out of control. They're emboldened. Trump won the election. We have federal law enforcement. They're enforcing the damn laws. They're taking people that have no legal standing and they're removing them from the country. That's the law. And these protesters think that because they don't like it, they get to interfere and impede law enforcement, and that's not right. And so they should be arrested for obstructing. They should be subjected to less than lethal or non-lethal means of crowd control. Like, I don't have a problem with that by itself. But when the left-wing agitators see ICE being belligerent, and then they see law enforcement taunting them, there's a reaction. Whatever you think about it, like it, love it, gotta have it, whatever, there's gonna be a reaction. And so the left they're getting really militant in Chicago. So far, there's been at least 2 or 3 instances of left-wing protesters now ramming and boxing in ICE vehicles. This is not getting a ton of news coverage, but about a week ago, I think it was the end of last week, there was an ICE truck moving through the street, and 10 vehicles surrounded the ICE car, boxed it in, and one of the protesters that boxed in the ICE car had a semi-automatic rifle. ICE jumps out of the car, they shoot her. She goes to the hospital. Chicago PD is told to stand down. ICE calls for support. They say, we need law enforcement. We're boxed in by 10 vehicles. Chicago PD says, don't respond. Don't help them. Okay? There was another instance where an SUV rammed into an ICE vehicle going fast from behind. Not hard to see where this is going. How long before the ICE detention facility is bombed? How long before ICE agents are shot, like BLM style? Like in 2015, where some left-wing nut job just lights into them. God forbid. You don't want that to happen, but some psycho is thinking that.
It's just facts, Again, Nick, just speaking common sense. I mean, it's like people need to be getting attacked. These are federal agents. They work for the government. They work for the president. It's like I always say, when ICE was around in 2015, 2016, 17, for Biden and Obama, people didn't care about them, But all of a sudden, people care that ICE is doing their job, It's just because Trump's president, which is so stupid, and it's just really, really dumb. Okay, next clip I got for you guys is Nick talking about every Friday and Saturday, people are showing up at the ICE detention centers, and then them doing their protesting and just acting like idiots, Yeah, it's horrible. It's not good. People need to start getting their stuff together and just stop doing this stuff, because you're taking away from the ICE people doing their job, because they're over here trying to get criminals and illegal immigrants or illegal criminals, and yeah, I mean they can't do it because they got protesters in their way, and they gotta deal with the protesters. So I mean it's not good for both sides. But here's Nick going into it and talking about how the Trump administration is in the middle of it, and they gotta pick between doing what's right, you know.
We're also going to talk tonight about.
Let you guys get into this.
We're going to talk tonight about the deployment of the National Guard to Chicago and Portland. Both have been stopped by federal judges. I'm going to be honest, I don't like it. And not for the reason that you think. You have these ICE detention centers set up in Portland and Chicago. They are doing these belligerent ICE raids. Me, I like it. Personally, I like them. I like seeing the helicopters. I like seeing 200 ICE agents storm a residential building. That's cool. I like seeing them march around the city. It makes me feel safe. Here's the problem. Their belligerence is basically daring the left to lash out, and they're getting what they asked for. The left is mobilizing in Portland and in Broadview, Illinois, right here in the west suburbs of Chicago, and they're protesting every week. There's a rhythm now. Every Friday, every Saturday, these left-wing dirtbags are showing up at the detention centers, and they're getting bigger and louder and angrier and more aggressive. And in Chicago, they're ramming into ICE vehicles, trailing ICE vehicles. The tension is increasing. And the Trump administration is spitting in their face. The Trump administration is beating them up and taunting them. And the question is the Trump administration going to follow through? They're in a brawl with the left. And the question is, are they going to finish the job? Can they put the left, lay them out on the mat, and finish the job? Do they have the political will to do that? Do they have the follow through? If the answer is no, then we're barking up the wrong tree. Because then all we're doing is pissing them off. And I hope they surprise me, but I don't think they will. And I don't like that we're going into this brawl with the left half-cocked. It doesn't seem like a great idea. And
no, it isn't, you know. We gotta be on our straight up on our feet, you know, because the left, they're coming for us, you know, they're coming for the right, and they don't like how Nick's talking, you know, and they don't like how people like Nick are being louder or being more aggressive, you know, and it's just not good, you know. And yeah, like I said again, with the ICE people being at the detention facilities, they are getting more aggressive, you know. I mean, you've seen that they're over here attacking federal agents like it's nothing, you know. So that's why Trump needs to make sure the National Guard's over there and just deploy them and make sure they're everywhere, you know. I think they just announced too that in San Francisco they're going to be heading over there. So, I mean, we just need to stop crime in general, you know. Alright, next clip I got for you guys is Nick talking about the supposedly 2 million self-deportations. That's what the Trump admin has come out and said, that 2 million people have self-deported themselves. That means they went to ICE and just said, I already give up, I forfeit, okay, take me back. And Nick's he's calling it a lie, and he says the administration is not serious. So, I'll let you guys enjoy the clip, and yeah.
White ass nigga sent $25. Kinda old news, but DHS said there's been 2 million deportations this year. What do you make of the claim that over 1 million self-deportations have happened so far?
Totally fake. And they don't even believe that. Okay, and I don't want to tell you how I know that, but they know that's bullshit. There have not been 2 million self-deportations. The number that was produced from the FOIA request, there was a FOIA request for deportation figures from January through to the end of July. And they said that we were deporting roughly 750 on average per day. And that figure was compiled by some woman she's not on board with the agenda, okay? She's some deep state holdover. And so it's a little better than that FOIA request. I've heard from certain people that second, third hand that it's a little bit better than what we covered earlier, the FOIA data, but not by much. And they know the self-deportation thing, that's bullshit. And the administration's holding it up. Susie Wiles is holding back the workplace raids. Stephen Miller is trying to get these H-2A visas solidified. Like, the administration is not serious, okay? And the people in CBP and ICE and DHS, they're very frustrated because for political reasons, they're being held back from doing everything they can do. So they know that's a load of shit. It's just not happening. There's not 2 million self-deportations.
Yeah, I mean, that is I'm pro-Trump, in my opinion. I believe what Trump's doing, he's doing a good job. But, I mean, come on, dude. I mean, 2 million people decided that they felt that they had to self-deport. I mean, I don't know. I think maybe there are a lot of self deportations. Maybe I say maybe 500,000. I say in the 100,000s, not millions though. But yeah, for I guess we'll see
And
though, because
I see
that's what the Trump admin decided. That's what they came out with the numbers. But all right, last clip I got for you guys is Nick saying Trump has to go all the way. You know, he has to go as hard as he can't stop. You know, if the media, that's what Nick says in quotes, if the media, the Democrat governors and mayors and Antifa are obstructing law enforcement, you have to break their backs. And what you do, you know, because they think they can get over the authority, right? Which is the police, federal agents. You can't. It's a common sense. You don't go attack a police officer. You know, it's like I said. It's common sense. You attack a police officer, you go to jail. It's like you're not supposed to do stuff like that. But yeah, here's Nick talking about it. And it's just saying Trump has to go balls out, you know, and just stop these people. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy it.
it's in my backyard. It's out here in Broadview, and it's chaos. Like there's hundreds of protesters. They're ramming ICE cars. They're not afraid. And they have the backing of the governor, of the mayor, of the media. And if Trump is going to do this, hey, do it. You're right. The mayor of Chicago and the governor of Illinois, they're inciting terrorism. You've got actual dirtbag terrorists armed with semi-automatic rifles ramming their cars into ICE. That is attempted murder. And the governor and the mayor are doing a press conference supporting this kind of stuff. Like, you got to go all the way, Don. You got to go all the way. If the media and the Democrat governors and mayors and Antifa are all obstructing law enforcement, you got to break their backs. You got to go in hard. You got to escalate it. You have to have control over the escalation ladder. That's rule number one of any conflict. What does that mean? When I say control the ladder of escalation, it's that age-old metaphor of bringing a knife to a gunfight. You start a fight with somebody. They have a gun. You have a knife. They control the escalation. Why? Because if it turns deadly, they got you. They can control whether it goes hot or cold, whether it stops or whether it ends in bloodshed, because they have the bigger gun or the gun at all. You don't bring a knife to a gunfight because you cannot control the escalation of the fight. If it keeps escalating, you're dead because they'll shoot you in the face. Is Trump bringing a knife to a gunfight here? Is he bringing a brawl and a confrontation to the left, half-cocked, not ready to finish it, and they are obstinate? They will break the laws. They will disobey the laws. They will be riotous, anarchic. They will abuse process. And the Trump administration is constrained by federal judges, by the mayor, by the governor. You got to be willing to go all the way and summon your troops. You got National Guard in Texas that are willing to go to Chicago and enforce the laws. Chicago PD, different story. This is how we have to think. And this is like, hey, newsflash, this is like Civil War thinking. This is like constitutional crisis, political crisis thinking. That's what it's come to. Because that's what this is fundamentally. You got millions of people in the country, they don't want to leave. That's a problem. You got just as many people that are governors and mayors of major states and cities, they don't want them to leave either. And they have their shock troops, their organizers, and they've got their own law enforcement, their own security forces that are loyal to them. Starting to get it? And I seriously doubt that Trump is going to be the guy that finishes the job. I think he's too old, too tired. He just doesn't have the imagination. He is not an operator on the level of a Vladimir Putin, of a Xi Jinping, of a Franklin Roosevelt, of an Abraham Lincoln. He just is not on that level. He wants the New York Times to like him. Is he the guy that's going to bring it across the finish line, or is he the guy that's going to light the powder keg and blow everything up? I still am deeply afraid that it's the latter.
It's facts, you know. I mean, there's only so much Trump could do, you know. He's already getting to a certain point, you know. We just gotta be grateful for these next 3 years. That he's gonna try his hardest, you know, to go all out, and then leave it up to another Republican candidate. Hopefully, you know. But yeah, I agree with Nick again. You know, it's just about going our hardest and keeping America first always, and you know, just making sure the American people thrive. You know. But yeah, if you guys like this video, comment down below your thoughts on it, like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in another one. P record out.